and protect them, Father. Lord, we love you, we praise you, and we ask all of this in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please be upstanding for the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we have is council roll call. Amanda?
Ballsy.
Here.
Bankhead.
Here.
Lavelle.
Here.
Joseph.
Here.
Williams.
We have a quorum. We've had a chance to look at the bills. Any questions or concerns? Yeah, we're gonna take- Sorry, y'all, can't read. I apologize. Y'all had a chance to look at the minutes and review them. Any discussion or any, things that we need to talk about on the minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll go to that revenue report, bill payments. Anybody have any questions about the bills? All right, I'm going to entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion to approve the bill payment.
I'll second.
If we have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, Brian, municipal operations report. Tell us what's going on.
So yeah, this will be the only time I talk today. No, I'm just kidding.
We know better.
But really just an update on where the city is right now. So first and foremost, I want to send condolences to the family of Sonny Penhell, who is a longtime former mayor of Helena, who built Helena to what it is today. So he did pass away this past week. So we definitely want to remember Mayor Penhell and all that he did for the city. So in March, we'll have some stuff coming up for him to show our thank you to him and his family of our thanks of what he's done for our city. Going from 1,000 people when he took office to now over 22,000, he really did Helena right in setting that foundation for us. Next is just give you an update on the paving job at Creekwater. I know this was a budget amendment we did recently, but they're finishing up that paving. There's only one street left to do in that neighborhood to redo everything. Then also the construction that's happening on 261 up there by 17, the main intersection, or 52, the main intersection. That'll be kicking up again next week so that we can get that finished up here fairly soon for everybody. And there won't be as much mud in the road. So if you email me or call me about mud in the road, we're working to get it cleared every day. And then finally, the police officers, they did a lattes with law enforcement, I think is what they called it. But at beignets and lattes this past Saturday, there was a great turnout. So it was good to see that community outreach. So Chief Lynn, I appreciate your leadership through that department, getting all that community outreach going. And that's all I got for that.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, next we have a proclamation proclaiming February of 2021 as Black History Month. Very, very important. Brian, you want to?
Yeah, I'll just quickly read the proclamation that'll be for the city, and I'll do it really fast, so I'll start talking like the micro machine guy. Whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economy, culture, spiritual and political development, and whereas an observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to our ideals. And whereas the city of Helena continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential contributions to our community, state, country, and world. And whereas the city of Helena is proud to honor the history and contributions of African Americans in our community throughout our state and nation, therefore in recognition of African Americans past and present in our community, I, Brian Puckett, Mayor of Helena, Alabama, do hereby proclaim that February 2021 to be Black History Month within Helena.
Next, we have another proclamation proclaiming January 24th through the 30th as CRNA Week. I think we have Representative Kyle Vander, here, Kyle?
Yeah.
There you are. Oh, you look at the camera. And, this is the proclamation, are you gonna read it?
No, I'm not gonna read this entire proclamation for CRNA, sorry, but I would like for Kyle, for you to come up and bring whomever, and talk a little about the importance of CRNA, what's the part of the meeting.
I've got a fellow CRNA here with me, Dr. Heather Rankin. She works at Children's. Both of us have served at the state level. She served at the national level for the Association of Nurse Anesthetists. A lot of y'all probably don't know who we are or what we do, but every anesthetic that's given in the office, based in the hospitals around here, are done, the majority of them are done by CRNAs. You see the anesthesiologist when you come in, he introduces himself, but the person that's in the room with you from heartbeat to heartbeat, breath to breath, is a CRNA. We love what we do, we love to serve everybody that comes through the doors. Every one of us spent years in the ICU before we went back for further education to do anesthesia. So I like to say CRNA is the Navy SEALs of nursing. During the COVID, we have expanded our ability to cover ICUs. We've had COVID care teams where we go in and have to intubate somebody, and it's been all CRNAs all across the state. Every practice in the state, or every CRNA practice available is represented in the state. So you have CRNA only practices, you have anesthesia care teams, and then you have different ratios at depending on where you are. Again, we love what we do. We love taking care of people, and we appreciate Helena honoring us.
And we have a proclamation flag for you that will come around and give to you.
Everybody's walking down there, I was supposed to say, if you've ever had any surgery, you've met one of these people. You may not have known it, but you have.
Who's gonna hold it?
Yes. You good with that?
I'm good with NASCAR.
I forgot to introduce Tina Betzel. She's also a CRNA.
So, on behalf of the city, I just want to thank you for all of y'all's hard work, that y'all do day in and day out, making sure that your lives are taken care of. So, thank y'all so much.
All right, moving right along. We have another proclamation. Kind of February 3rd, it's National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And Laura, I think you're gonna do that. I see some of my very good friends out there, because y'all know I associate with the teens. So I see all those girls, I know them.
Yeah.
I know you. Laura,
I'm thrilled to be able to read and support this proclamation. So I'll try to read really fast. Whereas the Women's Sports Foundation unites champion athletes, advocates, and key stakeholders to celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day across the nation, and whereas this day exists to acknowledge the past and recognize current sports achievements, the positive influence of sports participation, and the continuing struggle for equality and access for women in sports. And whereas the National Girls and Women in Sports Day began in 1987 as a day to recognize women's sports and remember Olympic volleyball player Flo Hyman for her athletic achievements and her commitment to ensuring equality for women's sports. And whereas the girls and women's athletics at all levels is one of the most effective avenues available through which girls and women in the United States may develop confidence, leadership skills, and self-discipline regardless of background. And whereas the bonds built between girls and women through athletics help to break down social barriers and increase inclusion, and the communication and cooperation skills learned play a key role in the athletes' contributions at home, at work, and to society. And whereas a need for increased opportunities exists for girls to participate in and pursue physical activity at the community and scholastic level to increase their health and well-being on a daily basis so that they are able to develop lifelong fitness habits at an early age. Therefore, this is my favorite part, we, Mayor Brian Puckett, and the Helena City Council do hereby proclaim February the 3rd, 2021 as National Girls and Women in Sports Day in the city of Helena, and call upon our citizens to recognize the important role that athletics play in the development of young women throughout the country. So thank y'all so much for what you do, and I believe that you've done a short presentation. Would you care to speak to that?
Sure, where do you, here, there. I'm Amanda Lewis. I'm the Associate Athletic Director and the varsity volleyball coach at Helena High School. And I was approached by Domingo Gardner, who asked me to come up here and speak on behalf of women's athletics. I've been at Helena since it opened, and I just have loved seeing the development and all the energy and everything that the city and we also have some multi-sport athletes in the crowd as well, and I'm so grateful for you guys and all the contributions that all the female athletes in Helena give back to the school and to the community. It's not always about putting people in the seats, but it's about the life lessons that they take from those athletics that don't necessarily just mean wins and losses, but what happens when you hang up the jersey. And that's really the most important thing that, you know, we can give as educators, mentors, and leaders back to these girls. So I just really appreciate you guys supporting, funding, promoting female athletics, because it goes a lot farther than what just the eye sees. So I appreciate it.
Bravo.
Everybody's got to go. Mask, no mask?
I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties tonight.
Okay, can we get everybody? Do we need to squeeze in? Do we need to do like a pyramid? So, thank you so much for all that you do for women's sports, but also their lifelong lessons that are learned. So, greatly appreciate all that you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies, and go out there and have fun.
Thank you.
And it's all about fun.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
I have one thing, they're gonna be recognizing this day on, Tuesday, February the 2nd, during the girls' basketball game. So, we hope that you all come out and support, we're gonna pink out the game to support this effort. So please come out, the tickets are on gofan.co, they should be on sale, I guess, Sunday night.
Looking forward to girls.
Bravo.
We have a budget amendment, we found out for the Lily Park safety upgrade, and I understand that's gonna be a partnership with Shelby County, right, Brian? You wanna tell us about that?
Yeah, so we partner with Shelby County on our Lily Park currently. And one of the things that we've had issues with is the lighting, not only in the parking lot of Lily, but also on the trail that runs around between Highway 52 and Old Cahaba neighborhood. We want to make sure that people are safe, and with the lights constantly going out, we had Shelby County team come out and look at those lights. They are wanting to put LED lights in all of those fixtures rather than the fluorescents that are there now. Because of the partnership with Shelby County, they're willing to pay for half of the fixtures and all of the installation. So for $2,100, the city would be able to LED outfit that entire park and trail. So it's my ask of y'all to amend the budget so that we can approve the park and have those safety measures in place of LED lighting throughout the trail and park.
Do we have a motion for a budget amendment?
Could you give the amount again and who's doing it?
Yes, so half of the fixtures would be $2,100. Shelby County would be paying the other $2,100 for the fixtures and doing the installation of it.
Okay, do we have a motion to amend the budget?
I'll make a motion to amend the budget up to $2,100 to improve the safety and lighting at Cahaba Lily Park.
Second.
You have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, we'll do this, did that well, right? We have Valley Creek Land and Timber rezoning request going from A1 to special district. And yeah, I know we have some people that would like to speak. The representatives from the Valley Creek Land and Timber, would you like to say something first about this? Anybody? I know you talked a lot already, but I don't know if you would like to.
Well, I will say that we do have a 5-minute open statement time limit, and then we'll limit our commenters to 2 minutes at the beginning now.
Okay, well, I know there's some people here that weren't here for the work session, but I mean, the main thing I want to focus on is kind of going back 2 years when the property was brought to the same committee for annexation with the intent for residential development, and that it did get annexed into the city, and it was a unanimous vote, and these gentlemen have spent a lot of money and a lot of time developing a development plan, and they've, negotiated with, I won't say negotiated, but they've adjusted that plan to accommodate concerns they've heard, former mayor's input, council people's input. I just want to remind everybody that the lot size we're talking about that we're calling small is the same size as the creek water lot. And that's the smallest lot we have. Originally, and they're 40% larger than what they originally asked for. So they've almost doubled the lot size in response to the feedback. And again, the only other new development in progress right now is a 60-foot lot, a couple 160-foot lot. So I just want to say, I don't want to go over it and over. I'm sure there's a lot of people here that want to speak, but I think these guys have gone a long way to accommodate everybody, and I think they'll continue to do that in the future with other land uses, other development styles, but they do own a lot of land out that way, and I think it's better for us to work with them than for them to stay in the county, because the future houses, the future development is probably going to happen regardless, and they're going to go to our schools, and they're going to drive on our roads and do all these things, and we don't get the economic impact. So I ask you to consider those things tonight.
Okay, members of the audience would like to speak. We'll ask you to come up one at a time and state your name and address, and like I said, you'll be limited to 2 minutes. And so, do you have anyone who'd like to start? Or maybe none of you want to say anything? All right, then.
I'm Jackie Garner, I live at 678 Highway 1, my property backs up to the land recycling plant.
I'm sorry, I did not hear it. Say your name again.
Jackie Garner,
Okay.
678 Highway 1. So I have a couple of questions that I'd like to confirm. It's my understanding that these things were not done, but at the planning and zoning, did the applicant submit a written statement indicating the expected traffic volumes to be generated by this proposal? I don't think that was done. I know the traffic study was done after the fact, and the traffic study itself, we've already stated that it was done during COVID and school was not out. And it was also for the light, not actually for the subdivision. So is that correct, that there was no traffic study submitted in writing at the planning and zoning?
Can't answer for
That would be a planning and zoning.
planning and zoning, and I do not know.
Okay, I'm pretty certain that it wasn't done, because we asked for the documents that were submitted and we didn't get anything. Also, the rezoning request was should be made a petition of the property owner following the procedures, a map drawn to scale indicating the nature and location of all existing and proposed facilities for the disposal of the stormwater drainage. That was another big issue that was discussed in the past at the other meetings. I don't think we've seen a map. Does anybody know any more of a map that you're aware of one? Anybody?
That's not a part of this hearing, because that's where will be plats and all of that later on in the future.
Well, it's stated, it's in the ordinance, it's actually zoning ordinance 12.1.2 in the planning and zoning, that's required, and I don't think that it was done. This is trying to.
But that will come up at a later point. This is just about going from A1 to special district.
Right. Well, none of this stuff has been done. There's another, it's my understanding that it should have been done before they went to planning and zoning. Before the planning and zoning passed up to the city council meeting. But also, earlier, JR stated that, the closest developments, another ordinance, let me just point this out, indicated that, they should have submit a written statement indicating the relationship of the proposed rezoning to the land use pattern of the vicinity.
I'm
And
sorry,
it
give me
stated-
time to up.
There's, Red Oak Farms and
Thank
Parkview
you.
Farms, which is 10 acres and 25 acre lots. Just wanna
Thank
make
you,
that
we'll let
clear.
somebody else speak now. They can take up where you left off. And who else would like to talk?
She can have my 2 minutes.
Joey, we would only let you have your 2 minutes. Anybody else?
My name is Sonny Garner, I live on Highway 1, 678. Our property is adjacent to this property here. I wish the map was still up. I appreciate what the landowner's done. We're not trying to stop the development. We want smart development. Every piece of property around there is 10-acre lots. They're selling. The Red Oak Farms is selling. Parkview Farms is selling. So things are selling in bigger lots. We understand that's your property, trying to make money. But if you look at the plan that they had, they did make them larger lots. But all they did was take the green space of the lots, when you overlay it from the original 1,000 to the 207, they just ran off the hill with the lots to make them larger, and then now there's no green space buffer or border. And if it is rezoned, I think it ought to be in the rezoning that there will be a buffer that for the people adjacent to the property will still have it. And I know JR said that there was no lots here coming up. There is 3,000 lots approved in Helena to be built on now. So there is lots coming. And I understand what y'all are trying to do, but there is lots coming. You're gonna have to go out to put more condensed homes when there's 3,000 in this area that can be built. I understand what y'all are trying to do, not trying to stop development. We just wanna be smart. We moved out there. Y'all rezoned it to city limits, which changed at that point. We were out there, they came, y'all changed. So now there needs to be a happy medium on where everybody is to make this right.
Anyone else like to speak? No one?
JR, you go.
I was gonna just make a couple of comments. To his point, I think it is a good idea that potentially number one, the planning and zoning meeting would be the next step if this was to be rezoned. And the water issues and those things always get addressed there as long as buffers, as well as buffers, I should say. And if you'll notice, the estate lots that are added border those that live off that area that he's talking about. So I think everybody would be open to a wooded buffer on the property line there to not just have something cleared all the way to the line, nor is it our desire. And then lastly, a lot of the larger lots that have been developed out there, they're really nice lots, but they're not developed the same way. They're gravel roads and well water and septic tanks and things like that. So although they're very nice lots, they cost a lot different. So, you know, when the city requires curb and gutter, asphalt roads, sewer systems, public water systems that have to be brought in, then there's really no path to larger lots unless there was a path to lesser requirements. Except these lots in general are larger than the 1,000s he's talking about. He's right, but I think they're only doing 200 right now. So that would lead to one developer. U.S. Steel and Newcastle would control 100% of the residential real estate product in the city of the city of Helena if we took that approach.
And some of the questions that I'm hearing will come up to planning and zoning, because all we're doing tonight is deciding if this is gonna go from A1 to special district.
Correct.
Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa Lumpkin. I live in 401 Taylor Way. And I want to thank each of y'all for your service. You are given an opportunity that none of us will ever be able to have in our lifetime. So this is an important moment in our life, and it is in your hands, but you have the power to decide what kind of legacy you're going to make tonight. And it has nothing to do with, you know, building out there. We want growth. We want smart growth. We want it to be a part of a comprehensive plan. And I know often I hear, well, you're not in the city limits, but that vote was taken away from me when it was annexed, and I am a part of the community. I shop here, I get my hair cut here at Uptown Salon, I eat at Refined, you know, or one of the restaurants every week, so we are part of your family. And you are given this wonderful opportunity, and what is your legacy gonna be? We're not telling you don't approve growth out there, we want growth, but it needs to be part of a comprehensive plan, this is not. So, thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Chris Nelson, 1021 Highway 95. Long history here in Helena, council, planning and zoning. Just wanted to point out a few things, is that as Alice has been saying, this is just a rezone. So many of the concerns that everybody has will be addressed if this gets approved, as it goes back to planning and zoning, and all the maps and all the surveys and all the studies have to be done before they start scraping dirt. So please keep that in mind. I would ask the council to give them a chance, see what they can do. They have so much property out there. They're asking for a small portion to show what they can get done and how they can improve the area. No, it is not part of the comprehensive plan, because I don't believe the comprehensive plan went that far when we worked on the comprehensive plan a moon and a half ago. It will be done on the next comprehensive plan that this group does. They have good intentions. I think that if you give them the opportunity to show you what they can do, you'll be real proud of a decision in a positive direction. Thank you.
Could you just explain how the water and the sewer's gonna work out there? If that would be all right? That came up at the last meeting and nobody had an answer.
Can you get a name?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sir, can we have your name and address?
James Crawford, 65 Highway 93.
See, it's one of the many hurdles that yet to be addressed. I mean, you know, the process in this case was annexation, zoning, and there's been engineering and surveying and planning along the way, and there's been plans, but there's not until we can pass this step, that's another set of funds, another set of engineering, another set of time. You go, and the city has guidelines and standards. So the property will be designed and engineered to those standards, presented to the city and the city's engineers and inspectors to review. And if they're not up to the standards, it won't get approved. And they'll sit out here in front of planning and zoning commission and say, no, this water system doesn't work, sewer system doesn't work, and we'll get denied. Simple as that.
I mean, I know it's not gonna be septic tanks. So what options are there?
Oh, it'll be a similar on-site system to what's out on 13 now with Creek View. There's others in the city, I'm drawing a blank, but it's
there's some on South Shades Crest.
South Shades Crest, Creek View.
Creek View has the latest one, where they all go to one main system.
It's an
And it
on-site.
gets pumped out, or?
No,
does
it's
it
monitored, it's like a large septic tank, I guess you'd say.
Is it federally monitored? There's a governing body that
State
monitors.
monitors, I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's actually turned over to them to maintain.
Right.
You know.
So no impact on well water?
No. I mean, the guidelines are designed. ADEM, yeah, I mean, it's an ADEM approved.
I mean, I'm asking, I'm not knowledgeable about it.
Well, I didn't,
I'm asking.
yeah, I mean, no hard feelings, I'm just saying, the body that, approves that, inspects that, is the nationally, the same people that would approve, the sewer they're putting in over here for Chick-fil-A, or the same people that approve the Publix, and, where there's hundreds of houses around them, and, those type of things, so it's highly regulated, and,
That would be ADM, right?
oh, yeah.
ADM and.
Does it still go into the ground, or does it get pumped out?
That's what I wanna know.
Similar, it goes into the ground, it's been treated before it goes into the ground, I'm not an expert. It's treated before it goes in the ground, not that unsimilar to a septic tank, except it's probably much, much cleaner when it hurts than the septic tank. I think you might have somebody here that might even explain it better than me. I don't wanna put you on the spot. Are you familiar with the systems?
I'm not.
Chad, are you? Is anybody?
And we don't mean to be not answering your questions, but again, that's something that will come up.
Right.
We don't.
Right, well, I asked a question 4 or 5 months ago when the last meeting was, and still haven't got a response, and I sent it to everybody that was on the council then.
It would
And
be
didn't get a
designed,
response, and I was told I'd get one, that's why I'm sitting here and asking.
it'd be designed at the federal, state, and local levels.
And I can't answer that. I mean,
Right.
did he answer it to somewhat?
I mean, my whole point is if it's something that's gotta be pumped out years down the road, who's gonna end up paying for that pumping out when the people who live there can't?
It's a contract, it's done in a contract.
I mean, if it's a
They pay
septic-
They pay a monthly fee, just like you would be on city sewer. They pay a monthly fee to a company that manages it and regulates it.
Yeah, it's done on a continuous basis, it's not
Right.
it's done continually.
But it's another fee for the people who live there.
Correct.
Right. And if they fail to pay that fee, where does it go? Do you just not does it just not work anymore?
Most of the sewer systems have a way they lock your water off, stop you from using the system if you pay your bill.
Right.
So-
Okay, so it's not gonna fall on the city of
No.
Helena to
No.
take care of their problem.
No, sir.
Sir, will you state your name and address for us?
Me?
Yes.
James Crawford, 65, Highway 93.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
For our records. Anyone else? All right, Joey,
I'm not gonna repeat myself what I said earlier, but I thought what Joey Roberto, Southern Lane, 401 Southern Lane, I thought what Ms. Garner said earlier, I hadn't heard before, but from a procedural standpoint, if there were steps that were skipped in the P and Z process, is that grounds for sending this back to P and Z? If there was information that was not provided that was required during that process, which could be critical information that could sway a vote one way or another. So if those steps were skipped, nobody answered a question. If those steps were skipped, is that not grounds to send it back to P and Z and then come back?
And I can't answer that.
There's a gentleman from P and Z here now, I believe.
Is there anyone here from PNC? Not.
No, I just remember the meeting and the, is Jack here?
No, that's not.
No, Jackson.
I think the traffic study was, in lieu of the other way that it's written, but most of the things that I can't remember exactly how it was written, but the traffic study was asked for in the council meeting for this exact same point, and that's when the traffic study was done and came back. So this has been addressed once.
Was
and
it
the traffic
3
study was
items?
done.
Wasn't there 3 items that said?
Most of those had to deal with preliminary plans.
Most of those had, see, you go back to planning and zoning with your preliminary
No.
plan after this, so there's another
You
trip.
might go back to planning and
As
zoning.
far as the process went, if it was skipped.
It was.
That's the preliminary.
What she was talking about is in there.
Preliminary plan's not
Okay,
good.
well, there was just no clarification for a point, so I just wanted to get a clarification.
Chad, my recollection was that our main goal in the process was to decide whether we would consider it for development. We would consider the plan at that time and throw it out.
The first one, correct.
Correct, and then, as I remember, it came back to us because, we considered what the public had to say, and we met further with JR, and he revised the plan. And then it went to council, and I kinda lost track of it after that.
That was a unanimous vote to annex after that.
But Stacy supposed to be done before the pre-zoning, before it gets this thing to rezoning, that's what y'all will say. That's what we went through and read the numbers off to you, that's what the book y'all put together said. Then it goes to zoning, then it comes to the council to rezone. But I'm not a lawyer, so I can't read it.
I'm not a lawyer either.
Those steps would come at the next planning and zoning meeting when it's preliminary plat or.
So those will be addressed in the
Absolutely.
next planning and zoning.
Yes.
Tonight is just to go from A1 to
Rezone
special.
application.
Yes. So wastewater, sewer, buffers, all that's the next, everything you read off is in the planning and zoning meeting, which will come next after all the additional engineering surveying and what these guys are doing.
So basically, the plan that you've shown us, those lots, I mean, you can't go back on, but that would change, could change. The planning is only have to approve it.
The number of lots cannot change, size cannot change. They can reduce them, they can't add more.
Okay, that was my
Exactly.
question. They can be reduced, but not added to.
Right.
More than likely, if there was a change, it'd be a reduction. You'd have a soil problem or something that would reduce.
Anyone else? Alright, so council, we need to address this, and I'm asking, for a motion to, with roll call vote, motion to approve or deny with a roll call vote for us to rezone this, the land on the Valley Creek Land and Timber from A1 to special district. Any discussion from the city council members? Do I entertain a motion for us to approve with roll call vote?
I make a motion that we, do a roll call vote.
Yeah. Do you have a second?
I'd like to clarify
Okay.
the motion, first, if you don't mind. So the motion for a roll call vote was,
Thank you, ma'am.
sorry. I wanted to clarify that your motion was, to approve the rezone request from A1 to special district, or to deny the request from A1 to special district, because we need to know one.
Right. My motion for a vote was to approve the rezoning from, A1 to special district.
Thank you for that clarification, Chris.
I'm losing battery.
We're still waiting for a second.
I'll second, I'm ready to.
Okay, so we have a
Deal with
motion
this.
and a second to approve with a roll call vote, correct?
Yes.
Woody
Halsey? No. Kyle Woodman?
No.
Alice LaBelle?
Yes.
Laura Joseph? Yes. Chris Bankley?
Yes.
Motion carries, the area is rezoned to special district. Now we'll leave it open for council comments. Who would like to start? Hal, would you like to start?
No.
Hang in there, y'all. I've
Laura,
got 5% yet.
Sure, I would just like to give you guys a quick update on the boards and committees that I liaise. I guess that's a verb now. The hot board has met twice, elected officers, and formed 4 subcommittees to work on a plan to improve Old Town. Our next meeting is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock via Zoom. And the library board will also meet this week on Thursday at 4, right here. And we'll be setting up a special display to remember and to recognize Black History Month. There will be Crafty Friday coming up January the 29th, and an Adult Customer Appreciation Day, February the 5th. They're gonna have grab bags for adult library patrons, so make sure you go and visit your local library. And I'd like to thank all of you who are here tonight. I think I can speak for most of the council when I say that this is something that we have been emotionally invested in and wrestled with for a long time. And just love that it's over. Also to the women and girls in sports who are here, thank you all so much for what you do and for everybody for coming.
Chris?
Well, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976. He called upon the public to seize this opportunity to honor the often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans. And I'm very proud tonight to see the city of Helena step forward with a proclamation honoring Black History Month. Want to also give kudos out to our nurse and anesthetist. They're still in the room. Thank you for your service and for waking us up after surgery. And to all our women and girl athletes, thank you all so much for all that you do to enhance the lives of those around you in our community. And with that, I'll pass it to Councilman Olson.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. A lot of work tonight. I do want to, I'd like to let you guys know, with Valley Timber, that I do appreciate what you've done. I sincerely do. I appreciate your interest in Helena, and I understand, your angle is to obviously develop and make money. I don't fault anybody for that at all. I just personally have some concerns that some of this is, for me, it feels out of order. I feel a responsibility and a burden to make sure that the city is, and I know that everyone here does, to develop it well. We get one shot to develop that. And I feel like it would have been really good for us to take the time to do our due diligence, to do our comprehensive plan. Yes, it will slow things down, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, I really just want what's best for Helena. And I feel like we've got to do that, to know truly what is the best option for development out there, whatever that looks like. Because that's what guides our planning and zoning. And this is gonna go back to planning and zoning with a comprehensive plan that doesn't have it taken into consideration. And at the end of the day, that's hard to do. We're basically doing that blindly. So I am no enemy to development at all. I am pro-development. We need it. It's very important for our city's survival. But I'm also interested in ensuring that my contribution to that is done with due diligence, and that I have a clear plan in front of me that I can get behind, and I understand, and I just don't feel like I have that right now. But I do appreciate your efforts. Congratulations. You guys have you go back to the P&Z and work out the details, and I'm sure you will work hard with the residents out there to get those things accomplished. So I also do want to just state to Domingo, this all started for women's and girls athletic support because of something that you did and Laura reaching out, and I thank the two of you for your work. Being a former female athlete and having a female athlete now in high school who is looking to play at the collegiate level, having us doing our job to promote and increase awareness is very important to me, like I said, as a woman, but also as a mom to a daughter. So I appreciate y'all's efforts very much for that. Thank you so much. And then realistically, I do thank this team. Tonight we had a hard decision. We did not agree on that end result, but at the end of the day, you guys are fantastic to work with, and I appreciate and value everyone's opinion and your contribution to it. So thank you for your work, and thanks to the citizens for providing feedback as well. That helps us be able to better do our job. So we depend on that to be effective. So thanks.
And I'm not gonna say anything, just to let y'all know that Laura said it, she said it. I mean, we have agonized over this. I mean, it is something that I've studied and studied and studied, and I have studied